it out. But go ahead, big homie. With number 10 and his tight end fantasy football list. This fella right here. None other than Evan Ingram at number 10. Give us your reason. Drop it down real quick. Evan Ingram at 10, big homie.
Yeah, I mean, number one, he's got a stud quarterback in Trevor Lawrence, right? They have Ridley coming back this year. You got Kirk. You got ETN. You're looking at 10 might be too low for him by season's end with what he actually produces. But when you're looking at the player and the passing attack that they have, and we all know damn well what Peterson did in Philly with the passing attack, and now it's year 2. I think this whole offense goes to the stratosphere, man. I really, really do.
I finally just looked at my phone.
Wow, you got it? That was...
Anyway, no.
Would it have worked? Would it have worked on air?
Hey, you'd have been on the borderline there, buddy.
Yeah.
But my delivery, you're reading it as me. My dumbass delivery would have worked. All right. So when you look at the player, you look at Evan Ingram, great quarterback, great offense, great offensive mind, great weapons around him.
Yeah.
He should have a phenomenal statistical season. I think 10 might be too low for him, but you got to be hesitant of. There's not enough balls to go around for everybody. That's what she said. I said it. But he could fall into that situation where not a lot of catches.
Yeah.
Outstanding red zone threat.
True.
Or vice versa. A lot of catches, third down matchups. But yeah, I like them. If most of my leagues are 12-man leagues.
Yeah.
And I usually cut tight end off at 10 and I say I gotta get one of these guys. There's tiers to it. I have 4 elite tight ends, and then I have the next group, which everyone could probably mix and match themselves based on preference, style, quarterback, all that. But Ingram is on my list. I can't let it slip past this. I can't end up with someone like Tyler Conklin on the Jets. I got to get one of these guys who are going to get volume.
I got you. All right. We're going to go to number 9. How you doing?
Frankie Moof.
How you doing with Pat Freiermuth?
Off topic, but holy shit, those Bengals uniforms hit hard. That's nice. Those white on white on white. Oh man, that shit hits. I like that.
The snowcat uniforms.
Here's another guy. The quarterback is not any. This is probably the weakest quarterback on the list, right? There's one other guy who is the weakest quarterback. Whenever you're looking for anyone in the passing game, you want to have a reliable quarterback.
Yeah.
But they got the good run game. Pittsburgh has always utilized their tight ends, especially 3rd and 4th down inside the 5-yard line. We all know Heath Miller and the Heath chant that they did for you. Now they have the Pat chant for the Muth or whatever the hell they do. I don't know.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, Muth.
Yeah. Whatever. I hate them all, so I don't even pay attention. But it's somebody who is athletic enough, and they'll have a lot of red zone opportunities. Pickett came along last year.
Yeah.
and you got a good weapon on the outside. You got Pickens coming into year 2. I think Freiermuth. I think Freiermuth. He's the guy in the top 10 who I think has the lowest chance of being like top 6. But I just know how Pittsburgh uses their tight ends. So out of respect to knowing their scheme and what they like to do offensively, got to put him in there.
Hey, I like it. I like it. Number 8. You got Cole Kmet and number 8.
Wayne Kmet.
Cole Kmet.
Justin Fields has DJ Moore.
Mm-hmm.
He has Kmet. He's got some nice weapons around him. They invested in that offensive line. And you look at some of Kmet's games last year. I think he had a 2-touchdown game. I had him. I've been big on him for the last 2 years. And it's been very, very up and down. And I think Fields enters that elite quarterback conversation this year where people are going to be putting him in their top 10 as a passer and as a weapon. I think he has that ability to be that Jalen Hurts type, and they got to get some more around him. I think he's a year away from being in the MVP conversation, Justin Fields, and I think him and Kmet, who have come up together. I did, Anthony. Sit down. So when you look at Kmet and what they're going to look to do in Chicago, they're going to run the ball a lot, right? They're going to use Fields in a running attack. And what's the easiest thing to do when you have a mobile quarterback? Drag that tight end underneath about 5 to 8 yards, dump it off to him, and give him wide open field to run with. Send the receivers deep and dump it off. He's an athletic tight end. I think he has a very, very surprising year. And a lot of people will regret not taking him if you don't get one of the top 5 guys.
Yeah. Hey, no debate here. We're going to go number 7.
I'm already convicted. My whole life has been turned around. I lost every job. I lost everything, every opportunity. I can't get buy cars, can't get rent, can't get none of that. But I'm still a survivor. You know, I'm still coming to court, still smiling, still signing autographs. But soon I'm going to go crazy. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to the world. You know, America eats its babies. No matter what y'all think about me, I'm still your child. You know what I'm saying? You can't just turn me off like that. Turn me off like that. Turn me off like that. Turn me off like that.
Dallas got it.
I really, really like this player. I don't like anything about Philly. You guys know that. I've been very vocal about that. But
Cheesesteaks outline.
He reminds me of Jason Witten. Like, okay, he plays the position well. He's smart. He's not the fastest guy, but he's fast enough. He doesn't have the greatest skill set, but he makes all the catches. He'll block. He'll dip out. It's a guy that when you watch him play the position of tight end, I respect him. And, you know, the volume that Philly's going to have on offense, and they're going to roll people, and there's going to be some games they put up 30, 40 or plus or more. And, you know, a lot of opportunity comes with high-scoring offenses. So he got hurt last year, and I thought it hurt them a little bit. And when he came back, that's when they made their Super Bowl push. Nice. So I think he's going to put up really good numbers just outside of the elite tight ends. But,
yeah. I hate Philly. Anyway, let's go to number 6.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
No, Anthony, this is my favorite color.
Damn,
Doing
wow.
wardrobe changes like I'm hosting the Oscars here, doing the tight end reveal.
Oh Lord.
So, first off, major respect to Waller. I posted it in the group this week. Who's going to wear number 12 as a tight end on the Giants out of the 12-step program for being an AA and having a couple years sober under his belt. So
it's pretty dope.
Somebody who's 101 days today. Much
all right, Nick.
Hello. Just like Dalmatians, make them stack, motherfucker. This is what the Giants offense was missing. I know they had the worst wide receiver group in the NFL last year. But you got a quarterback you paid. Go get him some shit that he can be successful with, right? And when you have a young quarterback, because Jones, even though he's on a second contract, in terms of experience or being a big-time passer,
this is fantasy. We're not talking about tight end rankings. I don't know if you haven't.
Hey, they don't do that.
Yeah, but when you need to have efficiency and pieces around you, and he's going to get volume. Yeah. He's going to get volume because the wide receivers still aren't there.
Yeah.
So when you have, fantasy is all about the production that you do as a football team. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be good at fantasy, you understand what teams are going to try to do offensively. And I think they're going to try to run it in between the tackles and have some safe, good throws for Daniel Jones before, until he hits his evolution. So Waller's going to be his security blanket. Waller's going to get a lot of volume. You saw what Waller did for Carr, and I think you're going to see a lot of similar things here where, I think you're probably looking 75-plus catches on a healthy season, probably hits close to double-digit tight ends, maybe like 8, 9. Waller the next Galladay. But, yeah, when I look at Waller's that guy who we've seen in Oakland be that elite tight end. I just don't think you'll see it in year one. I think he's very capable of putting up an 11-catch, 135-yard, 2-touchdown game. We've seen him have some massive games.
Yeah, he's capable of doing it.
I just don't know if in year one they'll have that consistency where I put him with the top 4.
Yeah. Hey, I feel it. I just wanted AP to understand that we're basing this off of fantasy.
Don't explain it to him. He's a Commander fan. He won't understand. He won't understand.
You're right. Number 5. Stop betting those.
Commander fan.
This is a guy, fantasy wise, I have him at 5.
Y'all still got a team?
I'm hesitant because I've had him the last 2 years, and it's like it's been a disappointment. Mm-hmm. In terms of fantasy, he's had some nice games. He's had games with 1 catch. There hasn't been consistency. I think adding Bijan Robinson to this offense opens up Pitts tremendously in the passing attack, because now the linebackers got to be concerned about Bijan in the backfield.
You're going to,
you can't just drop because they'll hit draws, they'll hit swing passes. I think the addition of Bijan Robinson sends Pitts into this top 5.
It opens the middle for him like crazy.
It opens the middle. You see one of your highlights. They had him out against a wide receiver and hit a slant. He's got that body to be that unicorn and line up against corners and dog them. And he's also got the speed. They did a tight end screen underneath. They'll do some creative things, Arthur Smith will, to get him the ball. Nice. But I really think that now when you add Bijan, you are going to open up tremendously Pitts in London, and you're going to see what they can do.
I agree with you. I definitely think that opens up the middle because think those linebackers. Bijan, he's like zoom into the flat. I got to get there, and that opens it. Yeah, you could easily just slide Kyle Pitts right,
and you can be so creative, right?
Yeah.
You can put Pitts not at tight end, slide him out like about 7 feet.
Yeah,
put Bijan in motion behind him where the linebacker has to go, and now you hit that quick slant over the middle to the tight end instead of the slant from the outside. Arthur Smith is gonna be fun. He's my pick for coach of the year this year. I think he's gonna have a lot of fun with this offense. And I think will be a notch behind Robinson in terms of fantasy, but he's going to have a plethora of chances.
Nah, it's going to be dope. I think when I saw these rankings, at first I was about to fight you with it, but then I thought about it when you said it, when you explained it. I'm like, okay, I can see that. Number 4.
I'm too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy for my shirt. So sexy it hurts. I'm too sexy for Milan. Too sexy for Milan, New York, or
I just wanted to make sure the whole highlight was against the Cowboys.
I loved it. I was waiting for that play. That was the play I remember from that game. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. This guy just puts up numbers, right? He is. If he had an elite quarterback, he would probably. If he had Mahomes, he'd be the number 1 tight end, in my opinion. He just doesn't have that. He's had Jimmy G. He's had Purdy. He's had Lance. He's had so many guys, but he always puts up numbers. So, whether it's Purdy, whether it's Lance, or even my sleeper pick to be the starter, Sam Darnold this year, whoever Shanahan has at quarterback fucking does well.
By the way, Nick, I've been running around everywhere on
saying that,
giving you credit for that.
What?
I think I agree with you. I've been
using
Sam. I've been using that take, and I said, shout out to big homie Nick. I agree with him, but I think Sam Darnold's taking that job.
I think he's the best talent. I really do. I know they have a comfort level with Purdy.
Yeah,
let's go.
That's an elbow injury, though. That's an
Jets undrafted player. Sorry, this is good shit. Jason Brownlee got the highest undrafted contract in New York Jet history. Just replied to me on Twitter, and he's going to come on the Jet show with me and my buddy Jeremy.
Oh, okay.
Just reply to me right now. Let's go. Give me a time, and I'm there. Good shit.
Man, all right. I'm excited for you, but anyway.
It's a Jet thing, bro.
I know. I'm not pissing in your brain. I'm saying I'm excited for you. I thought you had breaking news, news. I thought you
an NFL player responding back to your Twitter DM. It is breaking news for me. Sorry.
No, I thought I made a trade or something. But no, I like Kittle at 3. I agree with you. I just think, he might miss
University.
Yeah, he might miss 2 to 3 games a season in there.
Yes. And that's where you have him at 4, right?
Yeah.
That's where you have him at 4 because the way he plays the game and the way he blocks ends up hurting his fantasy stock because he's an elite blocker.
He is.
And, the way they run the ball out there. I think the final play that you showed in the highlight, he's blocking on the line like a blocker, and it's a delayed release to get everybody deep. And now we're going to burn you with him underneath. So the play design out there is elite. The quarterback play is not elite, but it is efficiently elite. Does that make sense?
Well, you
don't have the Pat Mahomes talent, but you have guys who are efficient in that offense.
No, I'm with you. I think it's all Kyle Shanahan and his play calling that makes that offense goes. But I think, and this is why I agree with your take on Sam Darnold. He actually was playing well when the line was blocking for him in Carolina, and you saw that they went on that run and almost won that division. And they were playing good on the defense.
That's not much of a feat.
I know what you're saying, but overall, you don't. To Nick's overall point, you don't know what's going to be up with Brock Purdy in the elbow. You don't know what's up with Trey Lance, and he's not automatic to win this job. I don't care what they did to give up for him to go pick him third overall. He's not automatic to get this job. It's going to be a competition, and Sam Darnold, I think he can beat out Trey Lance from what we've seen. We just haven't seen enough.
Sam has shown flashes, right? We'll get into quarterback talk later, but real brief with it. Sam has shown flashes.
Yes.
You can become a full inferno with Shanahan as your quarterback.
Yeah, I agree.
He will fix your flaws. He will design a system that is open, and you got easy reads to make because the scheme and design is so awesome. I've been a big Shanahan supporter
since.
Yeah, I agree with that, Anthony. You've been throwing a lot of darts at us.
If Sam Darnold wins that job, I think Trey Lance is out of there. He's gone. He's
send him to New England.
Gotta go.
Send him to New England.
All right, number 3. Just had to make sure that the highlight was on the Patriot. That's all.
Now, a lot of people have this guy at 2, and I have him down at 3. A lot of people have looked. The reason I dropped him a spot in terms of fantasy rankings is because there's more options there now. He's not the only guy.
Yeah.
So you got Zay Flowers, you got Beckham. He's still going to be third is very good, right? Like when in the 90s, when I started watching football, I mean, it was, if you were third or fourth in fantasy, you got a dog, right? You got a guy who's just a blocker and might catch 3 touchdowns the whole season. But to be third in this era with the athleticism and the tight ends, it's still elite, right? The top 4 are what I think is the group that if you walk away from fantasy with one of these guys, you can give yourself a little Derek Jeter, Tiger Woods, like fist bump to yourself that you got an elite player. You got a guy who's going to push 100 catches, double-digit touchdowns, well over 1,000 yards if they're healthy.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, I like it. And this next guy at number 2.
Yep.
That's all they got, Anthony. That's all I can name right now.
well, also, we still got to admit that Mark Andrews has always been Lamar Jackson's number 1 target. If you look at how Patrick Mahomes and Kelsey had that relationship, let's be honest. We'll talk about him, but that helps you make your decision at your wide receiver position when you have that connection like Mark Andrews and Lamar Jackson. Go look it up. Mark Andrews will be the number 1 target on the Ravens. He has been for the past 3-4 seasons. So yeah, I like it. Number 3.
When you look at how the other receivers can open him up, it very well make his fantasy value go higher.
Yeah.
So I'm just when I look at this next guy, I'll explain why I have him at 2. Go ahead.
Yes. Number 2.
Turn me OIC.
Yeah.
1 second.
Wait, number 2, T.J. Hawkinson, former Detroit Lion, traded it before the deadline last year.
So after he went to Minnesota, he averaged 6 catches a game. He had a game with 13 receptions. He had 9. He had 7. He had 13. He had 7. When you got Justin Jefferson out there, and you got a guy like him who can eat up the middle, it's valid. I support that and fully expected it. Now you got to remember, they acquired him in the middle of the week.
Yeah.
And he went up against Washington. This is nothing against you, Anthony. It just happens to be this team. 9 receptions on 9 targets with no training camp and nothing. Dude came out immediately. Now you have the offseason. You have training camp. I think Hockenson is up there and has an amazing season. I think fantasy-wise, he's going to get fed the ball. I just think this is my hunch. But in my rankings, I'm going to do it where I like. I'm not going to do it where other people like. But when you look at what he's
your second option in Minnesota. Because I think he goes Justin Jefferson. I think he goes TJ, then Osborne, and then whoever else is after that.
Yeah, Hamler. Hamler is the other one. DJ Hamler.
No, I'm just saying schematic wise and how it works. I think TJ's their second option in Minnesota behind Session. So
I mean, he had 86 catches last year. Yeah, 914 yards. But you take those 10 games that he was with Minnesota, it equates to a 102 catch season. Yeah, averaging 6 games, 17 times 6 ends up being 102. So you're looking at a guy who's going to get volume. He's going to get a lot of targets. They're going to be more creative with him. He's going to have, like I said, a full off season. Yeah, they're going to have a bigger plan for him. Yeah. And he had one game against the Bears where I don't think they played many guys. He only had 1 catch for 16 yards the last game of the season because I don't think it mattered with their seeding. Yeah. So you're basically looking at 59 catches in 9 games, which is really good.
Crazy numbers.
I think fantasy-wise, the targets, the volume, his targets, which is what you want. One of the things that people always look at are the catches. Oh, he had a down year. He had 84 catches. He had 137 targets.
Exactly.
Bad year, bad loss, passes, bad line.
Thank you.
All of that come into it. When you want to find a guy, you look at the targets. Is he getting targets in fantasy? Guy had 9, 10, 9, 8, 9, 16, 12, and in some of the games with Minnesota. They're going to feed him the fucking ball. Thielen's gone. He's a clear-cut number 2 receiver. So when you're trying to look at guys in terms of rankings and in terms of who do I take above who, that's always a good litmus test. Find out how many targets the guy has. Are they featuring him? Are they trying to get him the ball? Did he trip on a route? Was there a pass interference or was there another penalty? Get a guy who's got targets. You get a guy who's got targets. It might not be a down year. You might get 10, 15 more catches based off the same targets just because circumstances differ.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to allude to that because I think targets is the most important thing to really look at in these situations because if you're not getting featured in the offense, then how the hell are you going to win? How the hell are you going to score for you on your fantasy football team? Real quick before we get to number 1, Detroit Man, please jump in here real quick. Kind of give us your thought process on or how you felt on the Hockenson trade in the middle of the season.
All right, I like to open up saying fuck Nick. I think
respect you, sir. Respect. I wouldn't respect you if you didn't.
I think the Hockenson trade was a good trade for both teams.
Okay.
I think the way Detroit offense was set up, way Ben Johnson was running the offense, Hockenson wasn't getting a lot of targets. And I think Brock Wright and the rest and the other tight end, Saint and Zylstra were better blockers. They weren't better catchers, they're better blockers than Hockenson. Mm-hmm. Now the rookie they got now, Sam Laporta, looks like he's both a better catcher, a better route runner, and a better blocker. Mm-hmm. So I think they kind of ended up on a better end of the stick, but Hockenson works for Minnesota too. Yeah. Now the feeling's gone, and you got Osborne there. I think Hockenson is a better target than Osborne is, so he's your second choice. So I think
you don't have to pay him.
You have to pay him, right? So I think that works out for both teams. So I don't have a problem. When I first saw it, I was kind of like, "What the hell? Inside division?" I was like, I think same old line. They doing that same bullshit." After I kind of looked at it and evaluated it,
it almost actually ended up working out.
It ended up working out, yeah.
Fair. That's why I had to ask.
You never really see in division trades, and you never see in division trades with like a high quality player.
Right.
Yeah.
You see like
I
a
thought-
special team guy for a conditional seventh
Special
down the
ed
road.
guy, something
You
like
don't
that,
see a very impactful player get moved in division. So
yeah. Right.
it's interesting.
Number one.
No surprise there.
What the hell was that? That wasn't Mike Giesecke. Why are you altering my rankings, bro?
No, that ain't what you gave me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, right? It's as big of a no-brainer as there is in fantasy sports, or maybe
Right.
in any sport, not just football, for a position. You're looking at the greatest fantasy tight end of all time, in my opinion. When it's all said and done, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and go too nuts because I know Lamar is going to enjoy this too much, and I got to bring him down to earth. But when you look at Travis Kelce, not just is he an elite tight end, he is an elite pass catcher, and you have to debate him in round one. I mean, you look at what he does, you look at how they get him the ball, you look how the game plan, no matter who it is or how they try to take him out, he's fucking produces. So until he gets old enough and he can't produce anymore, if you have that 5, 6, 7 pick, I think he's in the conversation in round one. That's how high I think of him. That's the stats that he puts up, and he's deserving to be there. So, I mean, as much as I want to bust Lamar's balls and not, I mean, you just can't. When it comes, it's like him and Mahomes. Like, they are just so goddamn good at what they do. They have a great coordinator, head coach who knows how to get them the ball, knows how to create openings. It's a no-brainer. Like, if you pass on Travis Kelce for anyone else, you might as well just burn your money because you're wasting your time joining a fantasy league.
Right.
And if you're in a league where Kelce gets out of round one,
Yeah.
that league should be abolished.
No, look.
Oh, I want to say this. I forgot to say it earlier. Those first two tight ends that you played, the music, I thought I was watching an episode of Homeland or Jack Ryan because it had like a Middle Eastern like feel to it.
Right. I was like, is this some kind of
I forgot
Indian?
to say it when we went live.
I was like, that Indian music. I got a taste with some butter chicken.
Shut I can't with y'all. No, look, Travis Kelce, I agree with you, and that's not me being a Chiefs fan. I just think because fantasy wise, when you look at and the reason for this ranking is, Nick said all the points. It's about the scheme, and I want to put in this tidbit. He's one of the reasons why you don't flinch at, okay, Tyreek Hill, you don't want to sign this contract for $23 million. Oh, you went out here? All right. It is because people need to realize that Travis Kelce has always been the number one option here in Kansas City. He's always been. He's always been number one.
Deservedly so, too. Hey, he's an outstanding football player.
And when you are the number one option, it reflects not only in your stats, but it also reflects in fantasy. And you look at the explosive offense that Kansas City has had since Mahomes and Andy Reid have gotten together. It's the perfect storm, like Nick has said. It's coaching, quarterback, and his number one weapon. That's the best offense. So his number one weapon is Travis Kelce. Hence why they didn't flinch at trading Tyreek Hill, no matter how dynamic he is. They're like, all right, cool. We know what the recipe is to get to Super Bowl contention. It's Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, and Travis Kelce. That's the recipe on the Chiefs offense, and everything else around it is luxury. Offensive line, make sure he's upright. That's it. That's a luxury. Come on, you go to the Super Bowl with that wide receiver room last year?
It's like the Giants making it with Waller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect example. Thank you. Because if Waller stays healthy, he has the skills ability of a Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
If not better. He's definitely going to be faster because he's younger. So I mean, it's come on. I think that's a perfect example. But hey, that is the big.
Can I add one thing before we close?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
want to apologize. Sometimes we say shit on this show, and it's in the heat of the moment.
Okay.
And I just opened up Instagram and saw Aaron Rodgers is with Kevin Durant. So I take back everything bad I said about KD. And good juju, good karma. You're good, bro. Don't pass on that negativity on Aaron in the handshake.
Oh my!
I saw that and I went, "Oh my god, my mouth is gonna get me in so much trouble." I take it back. Bad juju.
Hey,
And just know that for saying bad juju, Nike would have dropped me and still kept Ja Morant. That's it. Now I'm out.
Oh man! So that is the big homie Nick Shines fantasy.
That's how you put a bow on comedy, folks.
Draft